Okay. Welcome to Pancasila High School, Mariska. I'm Siti Nurani.
Hello, it's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. And yourself?
Great, thanks. Thanks, good, Mariska. Shall we start?
Yeah, sure.
First of all, let me introduce myself. I'm the headmaster of Pancasila High School here, and we have an open position. So we have been interviewing applicants to fill the position as quickly as possible. Would you like to tell me about yourself?
Yeah, so for the past 4 years, I've undertaken an English education study program at IKIP Siliwangi. Then, after graduating, I applied to several online courses such as We Love English and Easy Peasy English as a junior high school level English tutor. So I teach students privately from Monday and Thursday. My responsibility was teaching, making a curriculum, and making short videos for our Instagram account as well. And besides my job back then as an English tutor, I also have some experiences being a judge for an English speech competition in my former senior high school, since I also actively participated in some English competitions back when I was still a high schooler and university student.
Wow, great. And okay, what's your strength and weakness?
Well, I'm genuinely passionate about English and communication in general. So that's why I'm able to create fun and creative learning materials. I use a lot of different platforms such as songs, games, and YouTube videos as well, so that my students can learn comfortably and not feeling too pressure at all. But as we know that nowadays, when we try to apply ICT in our classroom, the students tend to get more focused on the technology itself rather than the materials. I'm fully aware of that. That's why there are some moments when I still use traditional approach to learning as well. However, I have this one weakness. It is where I can get fully overwhelmed when I have difficulties in execute my ideas. So that's why, since this is something that I've been dealing with since I was an English tutor, obviously I know now how to cope with that. It is just the fact that I have to admit that as a teacher, we also have a lot of responsibility already. We can't always choose to make learning activities fun and games, but the point here is to meet the learning objectives with the students. And as long as the students can understand what I'm delivering to them, it's more than enough.
Nice to hear that. And why do you want to work for our school?
Well, I've heard a lot about this school and its achievements in national competitions. The students here are so talented and smart. You recently just won the biology competition for the first winner. The
Yes.
news is everywhere on the internet. I'm impressed. I always look forward to school where the teachers prioritize elevating their students' skills, and I believe that the teachers have worked very hard for supporting the students' needs so that they can achieve those great things. And it's very aligned to my values as a teacher. That's why I decided to apply for this job in this school.
Exactly. Okay, and can you describe a challenging situation you face at work and how you handle it?
Well, in my previous job as an English tutor, I encountered members with so many characteristics. Some of them are very unmotivated, some of them had low self-esteem. So my approach to that is I try to make personal space for them. And since I teach them privately, I get to know more about their likings. For example, there are my students who love pop music. That's why I try to enter their role by by talking about pop music to them in English so that they can engage more into the learnings. And for some students with low self-esteem or having difficulties in learning English, I try to give them some space by letting them speak their mind and speak their difficulties basically so that I can give them some advice and they are able to be motivated again to learn English.
Good. And then, why should we hire you?
Well, as I told you before, this school has my respect because of its great achievements. And I believe this school will make another hit if we enhance the students' capabilities in speaking English more. As we know that we now keep underlining the importance of learning English since digitalization is very close to our daily lives. That's why I'm sure and I believe that I can make improvements in terms of these students' capabilities in speaking English. Also, since I teach English with heart and passion, I'm hoping that students can be motivated to learn English.
Okay. And how do you handle working in a team?
Well, I'm able to communicate well, even with people that have different backgrounds. Other than that, with my leadership skills, empathy, and critical thinking skills, I'm certain that I can collaborate well with my coworkers in a team.
Okay. And what is your approach to the time management?
Well, I'm a self-starter and detail-oriented, which helps me manage my time efficiently. Also, I use some digital platforms such as digital calendars and notes so that I can keep myself on track.
And for the last questions,
All right.
describe a time when you had to deal with a difficult coworker.
Well, in my last position, I encountered a challenging client, and by actively listening to their concerns and I as well opening up about my struggles to them, it makes the problems clearer and it turns out we have good, meaningful relationship in return.
Okay. Mariska, it's nice to meet you. I can tell that you are a good candidate. Expect to hear from us within a week or so about the job.
Nice meeting you too. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for coming.
Welcome to Pancasila Senior High School, Miss Rani. My name is Marishka.
Hello, it's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. And yourself?
Great, thanks. Well, Miss Rani, shall we start?
Yes, sure.
First of all, let me introduce myself. I'm the headmaster here of Pancasila Senior High School, and we have an open position. So we have been interviewing applicants to fill the position as quickly as possible. Would you like to tell me about yourself, please?
Yes, for the past 4 years, I've undertaken an English education study program at IKIP Siliwangi. After graduating, I applied to several English online courses such as We Love English and Easy Peasy English as a junior high school level English tutor. My responsibility is teaching our
Hmm.
members privately every Monday and Thursday, creating a curriculum and making short videos for the Instagram account. I love public speaking, so that's why throughout my experiences working as an English tutor, my manager used to give me tasks where I could fully show my potential. Besides my job back then as an English tutor, I also have some experience being a judge for an English speech competitions that was held in my former senior high school. Since I participate in speech competitions when I was a high schooler and university student.
All right. It seems like you have a lot of experiences already. That's a good job. Well, I want to know about your strengths and weaknesses. So, what are your strengths and weaknesses, Miss Rani?
I'm genuinely passionate about English and communication in general. So throughout the years, I've been so focused and cultivating my English skills by participating in competitions, communities, and online courses. Since I'm so passionate, I'm able to create fun and creative class learning material using videos, songs, and games where students can fully enjoy their learning with no pressure at all. However, we all know that using ICT can also be a distraction for students because sometimes they only care about the technology news itself rather than the materials. So I still keep some traditional learning methods and track my students' capabilities or improvements. Unfortunately, I can get overwhelmed so easily to the point where it's hard for me to execute my ideas. That's why it makes me stuck. For instance, when making a model, I always want it to be fun. I've been dealing with this weakness since I was an English tutor, so I know how to deal with it now. As a teacher who has a lot of responsibility, we have to know our limitations. We can always make everything fun and games, but as long as we meet and the learning objectives with the students, it's way more than enough.
Thank you for your answer, Miss Rani. Well, my next question is why do you want to work for our school?
Well, I've heard a lot about this school and its achievements in national competitions. The students here are so talented and smart. You recently just won the biology competitions as the first winner. The news is everywhere on the internet. I always look forward to school where the teachers prioritize elevating their students' skills, and I believe that the teachers have worked very hard as- to support the students' needs so that they can shine brightly out there. That is very aligned with my values as a teacher, so I decide to apply here.
That was so good to hear. Well, now, can you describe a challenging situation you've faced at work and how you handled it?
Okay. In my previous job as an English tutor, I encountered members with different characteristics, such as ones that had a low self-esteem, unmotivated, and more. I provide learning materials that were very personal to them so that the education was more approachable. For example, uh, for one student who loves pop music, I try to talk about music in English with them so that they can become more enthusiastic or uh, or I become more open to ones with low self-confidence so they can tell me about their struggles in learning English.
That was such a cool approach, by the way. Well, now, why should we hire you?
As I told you before, this school has my respect because of its great achievements, and I believe this school will make another hit if we enhance the students' capabilities in speaking English more. As we now keep underlining the importance of English since digitalization is very close to our daily lives. I'm sure that with my contribution here, I can make improvements in students' English capabilities. Also, I teach English with heart and passion. So I hope students can feel the energy and become motivated to learn English better.
Yeah, I hope so, because when we teach someone with heart, I'm sure that the students can feel our energy. That's very good. Well,
Right.
now, how do you handle working in a team, Miss Fanny?
Okay. I'm able to communicate well, even with people that have different backgrounds. Other than that, with my leadership skills, empathy, and critical thinking skills, I'm certain that I can collaborate well with my coworkers as a team.
That's very nice. So now, what is your approach to time management?
Um, I'm a self-starter and detail-oriented, which helps me manage my time efficiently. I use tools like calendars and reminders to stay on track.
All right, so this is the last question, Miss Fanny. Well, can you describe a time when you had to deal with a difficult coworker?
In my last position, I encountered a challenging client by actively listening and addressing their concerns. I was able to turn the situation around and build a positive relationship.
Well, Miss Rani, I had a great time talking with you. It is nice to meet you, Miss Rani. I can tell that you are a good candidate. Well, expect to hear from us within a week or so about the job, okay?
Okay, nice meeting to you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for coming.